Ever feel like your life's stuck in a blender and you're trying desperately to escape? What if you could play out this metaphor literally? In Blender Escape, players can do just that while they control a fruit character trying to escape the spinning blades of a blender. They will move left, right, and jump with the character onto various ingredients that fall down from the top of the screen. These ingredients have different characteristics that help or hinder the player. Of the helpful ingredients, these include bananas, which the player can slide up into higher areas on, grapes, which allow the player to bounce up to higher areas, nuts, which fall into the blades and cause it to pause temporarily, raspberries, which blast the character from one side of the screen to the other, and chocolate, which gives the player a firm place to stand for a moment, but will melt away in 2 seconds. Some of the challenging ingredients the player will face include chai seed, which acts like quicksand towards a player, having them sink in to where they have to repeatedly jump to get out, spinach leaves, which rapidly fall down, forcing the player to make a quick decision, ice, which is slippery and the player must run back and forth to try to keep themselves on top, peanut butter, which will cause the player to get stuck while the tides rise, and protein powder. Anytime the player hits this, it will cause a cloud for a couple seconds throughout the blender, disrupting the player as they cannot see the ingredients that are fallen. In this example, the player has fallen down on a spinach leaf. He must quickly decide to jump up onto a grape, which launches him towards a banana. After reaching the banana, he slides up and goes over to the left. Upon doing this, he lands in a peanut butter, getting stuck and then falling down. This disrupts the player for a couple seconds and causes him to come even closer to the rising juice. The player must weigh their decisions carefully and jump on the right pieces in order to stay above the juice level that continues to rise as pieces fall into it. Once the player touches this juice, they will be sucked into a spiral and into the blades, ending the level. Levels are completed by reaching the top of the glass and jumping out. There will be 10 levels in the final game build, ranging from easier levels, allowing all players to succeed, to harder levels for more hardcore players. The levels will be generally similar with the coding and structure, other than some rendering. There will be change in difficulty using variables that can be adjusted. One variable is the type of ingredients that are dropped. This will start out with more helpful ingredients that fall earlier in the levels, and as they wean down, the hindering ingredients start to fall more. This will allow the player to have easier ingredients to jump on in the beginning and then be forced to control their actions with harder pieces that drop later. In addition to this, the fall rates of these ingredients will be adjusted incrementally each level to be harder and harder, falling faster and faster. Similar titles include Nin Jump and Doodle Jump. Both titles include a player that rises vertically throughout a level. This game will differ from most titles in 2 key ways. For one, both titles include one main movement. The player can either jump across the screen in Nin Jump or move left and right in Doodle Jump onto various platforms. The second difference is the platforms and items in each level. In both games, everything is stagnant and the player ascends throughout the level. In this game, the platforms will be falling down as the player is trying to go up. This is mitigated, however, by having no combat that the player has to deal with, and he's only concerned with moving up towards the top. Developmental risks revolve around managing time to animate, code, and balance the game. This will be mitigated by first focusing on animation and coding in the beginning to build the game, and then focus on playtests to make sure it is balanced and works properly. Thank you.